Hello everyone, this is ECD Academy. Welcome to our YouTube channel. So the training we provide for PCO license are topographical skill assessment and the SERU assessment, which is the understanding of safety, equality and regulatory, and the last one is B1 English assessment. So we provide training both online and offline, so you don't have to travel all the way from your house to our office. You can still get the lectures from your house sitting on your own computer. The best advantage that you have with us is we are very flexible, so you can book your appointment according to your availability. So if you are thinking about getting a PHV license to work as a PHV driver in London, then you can call us now in our office number so that you can get the training for the assessments that you have to go through. We will help you, we will guide you through all of your assessment until your exam finishes, until you pass the exam and get your license. Okay, so call us now, book your appointment and get the trainings. So let's jump into today's topic.
So today we're going to go through the lecture for section 8, which is based on being aware of equality and disability. Okay, the lecture is presented by CD Academy. Hope you like it. Okay, so TFL is committed to improving transport in London by making it more accessible, safer and reliable for all. Okay, so public transport plays an important role in opening up opportunities by providing access to education, employment and other essential services. It helps people to stay in touch with family and friends and allows many people to live independently. So how do they do it? So basically what happens is, let's say suppose how does it help for the education? Let's say the students are going to the universities, going to schools, colleges. How do they go? They use the transport. Okay, so you can say minicab, you can say cab, taxis, trains, tubes, buses, all these things. Yeah, so that's how TFL is improving transport, or TFL is helping us through in all these sectors. Okay, it tells you about your responsibilities and how to provide best services to your passengers. Okay, assisting passengers. So the first term we're gonna learn about is assisting the passengers. Okay, so TFL believes it's important to provide a public transportation system which all people can use, so that the older and the disabled people have the same opportunities to travel as the other people. Okay. So TFL expects PHV drivers to deliver a high standard of customer service to all passengers, whatever their needs, has helping them with their luggages, helping them getting off and getting into your vehicles, all these things. Yeah. Okay, however, we know that some passengers may need more help. This section gives you information, advice and tips on what you can do to help disabled passengers and other passengers that require assistance. Okay, so basically we're going to learn in terms of helping people, assisting people with their needs in terms of riding with us on our vehicle. Okay, so let's say for example the passenger is visually impaired and ask you to guide them with the vehicle. Stand by the person's side, allow them to take hold of your arm or elbow so you can guide the customer along. Okay, do not take hold of the passenger and pull or push them into a particular direction. So how you're gonna do it? Basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna stand beside the person who is asking for help or who needs actually help. So just take hold of his arm or elbow. Let him hold your arm or elbow, and then go along with him. Don't push him, don't pull him, just go easily, calmly, and he will be following you, holding your arms or elbow. Okay, so that's how you're gonna help him. Don't push him, don't pull him. Okay, so then here are some more tips to help provide the best services to your passengers. Always ask your passengers if they need any help and wait for offer to be accepted. Listen to any request and remember that everyone is different, so serve them, help them according to their need. Okay, be ready to give disabled and older passengers some help. This could be as simple as writing things down for them, giving them a little extra time, facing them so that can see your lips, you speak or speaking loudly and clearly if they have problems in terms of hearing. So let's say if they have a hearing problem, what you can do is you can write down things for them, or you can speak loudly. You can speak to them facing towards them so that they can see your lip sync, so that they can understand what you're exactly talking about. So talk directly to the older or disabled person rather than to the person them they are traveling with someone. Okay, so what will happen if you, let's say, suppose you're traveling with someone and you have some disabilities. Let's say you can't speak, or you have a hearing problem, you're deaf. So if someone is traveling with you and the driver is talking to him, not to you directly, you might feel sad for that, you might be upset for that. So that's why always try to speak to the passengers directly who has the problem, to make them feel comfortable. Yeah. Okay, so assisting passengers. So tell the passengers where they are going to, and let them know about the possible dangers, such as pavement curves, doors opening towards or away from them, and slopes going up or down. This will help them prevent accidents and injuries. Okay, always try to tell them things in advance so that they can be mentally ready for things. Yeah. So when you arrive at your destination, tell the passengers the location where you have exactly arrived, and then offer to assist them out of the vehicle if they have any problems, if they have any disabilities. Then okay, so then offer to assist them out of the vehicle and to guide them to a safe place before leaving them. Okay, you cannot leave them in the middle of the road. You cannot leave them in the pavement. You have to help them to be in the safe place after getting off your vehicle. Then you can leave. Okay, so clearly clearly tell the passenger how much the fare is, and when you give the change to the passengers who are visually impaired, it's important to count out the coins and the notes into their hand. Okay, so that they can understand how much you're giving him changes. Okay, so basically what happens is you might ask a question that how can they know that how much you are giving them if they're visually impaired. So coins are fine, they might understand it through the sizes and the things written on the coins. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna count one by one, and you're gonna give them into their hand if they are visually impaired. Okay, also in terms of note, if you notice the notes properly, you will see some dotted points. It's basically a braille. It's called braille text. So the person who are visually impaired, who can see, they understand, or they know that through the braille text that how much you're giving to them. Okay, so offer to help count out the change if a passenger seems to be having problems. Help them if they're having problems in terms of counting the changes. Help them let them take their time as well. Okay, so always have a pen and paper with you so that you can write things down. This can help passengers who have a problem in hearing, or passengers who do not speak English. I mean, much English. So let's say someone has a language a problem, he doesn't speak English very well. What you can do is you can write down things what you're exactly saying. Then he can use a translator, or he might understand after seeing what you have written. He might have used a translator, or maybe some other ways to know what you're exactly trying to tell him. Okay, so assisting passengers again. If you drive a wheelchair accessible vehicle, make sure the equipment is in good working order and therefore available to use anytime. Okay, so if your vehicle is registered for the wheelchair accessibility, then you have to make the make the stuff always ready, neat, clean, and in working order, so you can use it, or it can be used anytime it's needed. Yeah. So be careful where you pick and drop off wheelchair users, and make sure you take them to a safe place after getting off your vehicle, and then you can leave. Okay, avoid places where the pavement is on a slope. If it's on a slope, it's not gonna stay still. Okay, it's gonna be a problem. An accident might happen as well. Okay, so disabled or older passengers may need more time to or help to get in and out of your vehicle. For their safety, be patient and make sure they are comfortable and have their seatbelt fastened before you start the journey. Okay, so you can also help by asking the passengers if they have all their belongings with them before you set off and when you arrive at their destination. Okay. So during the journey, visually impaired passengers in particular should be told about any delays or changes to the route, and this is a good thing to do with any elderly passenger or passengers who have a learning disability. And as they might get worried or upset if there are any changes to the route expected to take, try to make them understand. Okay, try to explain the situation, why you are taking changes, or why there are changes in the things, let's say routes or maybe other things. You can tell them and you can explain them the situation. Okay, so not all disabilities are easy to see, so offer or be prepared to help any passengers. Okay, So Equality Act 2010. It's illegal to treat anyone unfairly based on of any of the characteristics protected under the Equality Act. Okay, it is unacceptable for you as a PHV driver or for any of your customers to use a language or behave in a way that discriminates against any person. As a PHV driver, you are expected to treat all passengers in a professional and respectful way without making a judgment about any person's personal characteristics or assuming anything about them. Okay, so basically just don't judge anyone based on their appearance, on the based on how they look. So designated wheelchair accessible PHVs. Okay, so if you drive a designated wheelchair accessible PHV, you have certain duties under the law. So your operator should be aware that the vehicle you are driving is a designated wheelchair accessible vehicle. And if your vehicle is designated wheelchair accessible PHV, you must carry the passenger while they remain in the wheelchair and make sure the safety belts are attached to the wheelchair to keep them in a safe position. Okay, not extra charge because passenger uses a wheelchair, so you cannot charge them extra if they are use a wheelchair and you are designated or your vehicle is registered as a wheelchair accessible vehicle. Okay, so carry the wheelchair safely and securely if the passenger chooses to sit in a passenger seat. Okay, so make sure the passenger is carried safely and in reasonable comfort. Okay, so you have to always take care of the passenger if the passenger is in the wheelchair or he wants to sit in the passenger seat instead of a wheelchair. So make sure everything is safe and secure. So offer the passenger any help that is reasonably required. Okay, so exemptions. In terms of exemptions, so you guys remember what are the exemptions? So exemptions basically means a special permission to not to have something that you should. Okay, so a driver can only get permission to not to carry wheelchairs for medical reasons. Okay, so if a driver cannot carry out the duties of Section 165 of the Equality Act because the driver's poor health or fitness makes it impossible or unreasonable, an exemption certificate may be given to the driver. So you will need to contact TFL to apply for an exemption certificate, and if granted, you will need to display an exemption notice and the windscreen of your vehicle. So basically what does it mean? Let's say a driver who is just like really old and weak and he's driving a cab, and he needs to pick up a passenger who is with wheelchair, but in that case you're basically supposed to carry wheelchairs and help the passengers, but in special cases if the driver is weak and not strong enough to hold or pick up wheelchairs and stuff like that, help the passengers, so that he can apply for an exemption certificate. So what you have to do, you have to contact TFL on their website to get an exemption certificate, and you have to show it on your windscreen. Okay, assistance dogs. So Section 170 of the Equality Act says that PHV drivers must accept passengers with assistant dog and must allow the assistant dog to sit in the footwell next to the passenger. Okay, assistant dogs are highly trained working animals, so should not be treated like pets. So do not smoke, do not stroke or feed assistant dogs or distract them in any way. So while there is a wide range of assistant dogs, you can sometimes see what type of assistant dogs provides by looking at the color of the jacket is wearing. Okay, remember though that an assistant dogs may not always wear a jacket. Okay, so assistant dogs. The pictures on the side are some of the dogs you might come across. Please remember that assistant dogs are not always the same breed as shown in the picture, and not all assistant dogs have a jacket to identify in them. So the thing is, there are different kind of or different breeds of assistant dogs you will see. It's not exactly the one, or it might not be the exactly one you can see in the picture right now. Okay, so sometimes they might have a jacket with them, sometimes they might not have. So you have to be watchful on these things. Yeah. Okay, so PHV drivers and operators cannot refuse to or charge a passenger extra because they have an assistant dog. And in terms of dogs, in terms of Islamic laws, okay, so in 2002 the Sharia Council confirmed that trained assistant dogs may accompany disabled people in the PHVs managed or driven by Muslims. The council guidance helps to make religious law clear and to prevent any possible conflict with the secular law. Okay, So exemptions. A PHV driver can only get an exemption from carrying assistant dogs for medical reasons only. If a driver has a medical condition such as asthma, which gets worse when near dogs, or if the driver is allergic to or has a fear of dogs, let's say dogs phobia, so it may be possible for them to get an exemption. So you will need to contact TFL to apply for an exemption certificate, and if granted, you will need to display an exemption notice in the windscreen of your vehicle. So what does it mean? Basically, you have to have allowing assistant dogs in your vehicle, but the thing is, if you have any medical condition, so you might get an exemption of carrying assistant dogs. Okay, so complaints. Or we will investigate. So basically, here the TFL will investigate any complaints they receive about a PHV driver breaking the Equality Act. Okay, so if there is enough evidence of offense being committed, and it's in always prosecute to the driver. Okay, so it's in and it's in the public interest to do so. So the TFL will always prosecute the driver. So if you are convicted of an offense under the Equality Act, TFL will decide how suitable you are to be licensed PHV driver, and TFL may suspend or revoke your PHV driver's license as well if they got any complaints against you.
So if you're thinking about getting a PCO license for driving a minicab, then you have to go through this assessment, which are Topography SERU and B1 English assessment. So you can call us to get this training. We provide both online and offline, so you don't have to worry about traveling all the way from your house to our office. We are based at Whitechapel next to East London Mosque, and first floor LMC Business Wing, 38 to 44 Whitechapel Road, London, and the postcode is E11JX. Like, share and subscribe. See you in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.